Coming from Cincinnati, this is the Spin Lob. Welcome to episode 6, Shoot Like a Girl. Tonight we are joined by some amazing guests. Out of California, we have Maggie Steffens, and out of Wittenberg in Ohio, we have Sivan Paron. We have a couple things that we can cover tonight. First of all, we wanted to wish everybody a happy Mother's Day. And I am your host, Nick Helwig, along with Mike Jones, getting to you on this Mother's Day, talking about Ohio water polo and stuff in the Midwest, what's going on national level, and how we kind of all fit into that kind of spectrum. I know Mike is having a little technical difficulty. Wanted to give a big shout out to his mom. Happy Mother's Day, as well as his wife and his sisters. And I also want to give a big shout out to my wife, who's been teaching our kids while I'm hunkered down in the COVID bunker, teaching high school kids via my computer. Also, a big happy Mother's Day to my mom, who survived raising me, and my sister, who's juggling 2 kids and working as well. So happy Mother's Day to everybody. Last week, we had some great conversations with Mara Dickinson, who is the president of Ohio Water Polo Coaches Associations, and her roles in Ohio Water Polo. We also were able to talk with Dan Sheridan, the head of the Collegiate Water Polo Association, someone who both Mike and I have dealt a lot with through College Club, and as well as kind of running things here in Ohio on the club scene as well. We were able to talk to him about what it means to be a D1 or D2 or D3 team. Tonight, we're going to be discussing Wittenberg Water Polo with Coach Paron, as well as our national spotlight on with Maggie as a Stanford graduate, an NCAA champion, a FINA champion, an Olympic champion. I think we can come up with as many champions as we can for that. And so actually we'll start off today talking with Maggie. So welcome to the program, Maggie.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So what have you been doing to stay busy over the past 6 to 8 weeks? Do you actually remember how to swim?
I know, right? Total fish out of water during this quarantine. So I'm looking forward to a chlorine splash next time I get the opportunity. But I've actually been staying really busy. I'm a very energetic person, so I kind of have to find that that busyness to keep me going. But lots of working out, of course, like lifting with my team, lots of running and biking, just staying in good shape. We have a bay here in Long Beach where I am, so I've been able to get a wetsuit on and swim in there a bit. And then I have a company, 6-8 Sports, and I've been doing a lot of stuff with that, trying to help the water polo community as much as possible through 6-8, and do what I can with that. And then been doing a lot of Zoom calls as well, just with teams and kids, and just trying to help as much as I can during this time, which has been really fun. And yeah, but definitely a fish out of water. So I'm looking forward to our first training back, and we're doing a lot of team calls and just staying connected as the USA team as well, which is super important. And that kind of, gives me energy throughout the week just to see my teammates on Zoom and do fun meetings. And then also, sports psych meetings, etc. So been busy, but it's good.
Yeah. I mean, I commend you for hopping in the water. I've been to Long Beach. I've been out there. It is in the summer. It is not warm water on that ocean. I mean, growing up, I visited my grandparents in Orange County, and we would go to the beach in December because from St. Louis, it's still hot. So, but yeah, it's chilly out there. Can you tell us a little more about the 6-8 program and how that kind of can help players stay ready for water polo when it starts back up again?
Yeah, for sure. So 6-8 Sports was started by myself and Tony Azevedo, 5-time Olympian, total rock star, Stanford grad as well. Really with just the mission to help grow the sport of water polo and help youth development as much as possible. And so the main thing that we do at 6-8 is bring data to the sport. So we collect statistics, we analyze those statistics, we look at trends, for example, through our 6-8 challenge, which is a series of tests that are water polo specific that we can, run all these kids through. But obviously right now we can't be collecting all too much data, just with us being at home. And so what we've kind of turned to right now just to help the community is we've recorded 100 plus video of Tony and I doing dry land workouts, stuff to stay relevant with water polo. So tons of ball skills, stuff that I used to do as a kid and stuff clearly I'm doing now as well. And then Tony has a backyard pool, and we have a bunch of videos before as well of just fundamentals in water polo, which at 6'8" we believe is the most important thing in this sport, or just fundamentals. So you get to see and listen to Tony and I going through hundreds of different fundamentals in the water, out of the water, workouts, etc. And then two, we've done this cool thing where we've sent out YouTube links or video links to watch a game. And we have you guys or the kids watch one player, and on the 6-8 app, which you can download right now, you can score and follow that player. So it's been kind of fun for us. We get to, have the kids watch a role model and follow them, keep their statistics. And then whoever, gets it right, we send them a little prize. So been doing stuff like that just to keep kids in the water polo mindset, and myself, like I'm doing all of these as well, just to watch as many games as possible and stay in that water polo frame of mind. And all the stuff we put on there, Tony and I are doing as well. So it's pretty cool.
Now, with those games that you guys have in the length and recording that they're scoring, do you guys also do like a breakdown of the game? So let's say you pick a game, you say, okay, we're going to watch transitions, or we're going to watch, 2-meter defense. Do you guys talk through the game in those situations as well? Or is it more just kind of a fun way so you can correctly score the game?
Yeah, so that's more of a fun way, and also just to get kids, getting familiar with what you can do on the app once you do have games to play again, to be able to score, have your parents score, your coaches score, and collect, your own data. But what we're going to start doing is every Wednesday, Tony and I are going to set up a Zoom call to talk about a specific aspect of the game, and kids can sign up for that. So I believe this Wednesday, I think we're doing it at 5 p.m. We're going to do In the Eyes of a Shooter. So just talking about shooting, we're going to show different clips, talk about drills, talk about what you should be seeing, what you should be thinking, do some Q&A at the end. So we're going to try to do that every Wednesday to kind of touch on that part of, what you were just asking about, which will be fun.
That's awesome. I mean, I know as a coach, that's kind of what I'm trying to get my kids to do. Now, are all these links, I'm assuming, are games that you're starring in, correct? Right?
No. We actually, most of the games I've scored other athletes. The last women's game that I watched, and I always just watch the whole game because I get excited. But I had them watch the Spain versus Russia final for Europe. So it was the European final to name who was the best women's team in Europe. And I had them watch a Spanish player for one quarter, Russian player for the next. So it's pretty fun. It's cool too, because you get to see, wow, there's, water polos all over the world, and there's great players everywhere that you can be watching and learning from, which is fun.
I mean, at that level, I mean, you're obviously playing at that level, and you seem to rise pretty quickly, even as a high school player on the U.S. women's national team. Like, how did you feel as a younger player getting to be on that type of stage?
Yeah, I was definitely very lucky to have my older sister on the team, Jess, who's 6 years older than me. That was a huge help at the time. I didn't really even know it, just because I was young. And I mean, at that age, at that point too in my life, it was kind of, I was just doing whatever it took, and doing all the extra efforts. And that's something that I still very much so believe in, is just how much effort you put into things and how much you prepare is what the output is going to be and the confidence you're going to have. And so, especially being a young girl on the team and with role models, with people I looked up to, it was an amazing learning experience. I grew so much in that time frame because I had such great leaders on my team, and including my sister. And so, although it was scary and intimidating, it also was just a time for me to be sponge and soak up as much as possible because I knew I just had so much more to grow. Like I came in, bottom of the barrel, youngest one, but with so much energy, so much hunger, so much desire, so much heart. And so I knew that if I could just soak up as much from these older girls and just, follow these amazing leaders and just learn, grow, I could get to where I wanted to be, and with that added effort. So it was definitely tough. That was a crazy time in my life, but I was so lucky. I mean, you think about the girls on that team, Brenda Villa, Betsy Armstrong, Jessica Steffens, Lauren Wenger. I mean, like, I just had a surplus of amazing leaders to follow. So it was pretty cool.
I think that's probably fun to learn. You're looking at all these players. I think at any level in the game, that is something that players need to be able to understand, that there's always level that you're going to grow. There's always someone that's going to be one step above you that you can learn from. And that if you put that mindset that I'm going to do that, I'm going to learn from these people day after day, that's only going to make you better. I think that's a piece of
Yeah.
it that
And
most people need to get.
yeah, and it happens even now. Like, even now, me being more in that leadership role and in the experienced role as one of the older girls on the team, I'm still learning from the girls that it's their first day, right? Because similarly, like when I came in, I had all this, I still do, clearly, but I had all this hunger, this motivation, like whatever it takes, this, heart and desire, which I still have. But especially when you're kind of coming in, it's so fresh and new. It's fun to have these newer young players come in and I'm like, ooh, what's that? What are you doing? I want to try that. Like I think of Maddie Musselman. She's doing all these amazing things with her shot. And I'll pull her aside and be like, hey, what are you doing here? Like, I kind of want to try that, So it doesn't matter who you are, how long you've been on a team, if you're a senior, if you're a freshman, whatever it is, like your game can always improve and you as a person can always improve. So, just trying to constantly learn and develop is part of, for me, what's so important. Doesn't matter, if you've been on the team 1 year, 10 years, etc. Like you still have so much room to grow, which is fun. That's why we keep playing.
Yeah. I mean, just thinking about those steps, I think that's important to think about. Do you have advice if girls want to try to reach, that next level, that, not just the varsity on their high school team, division level, but like keep moving up into to the realm where you are? What steps or what do they really need to kind of do or take advantage of to try to
Mm-hmm.
get to the level that you're at?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, I've been saying this a lot, just I really believe this, and especially I think it's such an important message to girls, especially, I don't know, the way times just keep changing. But my biggest advice to the girls would be don't be shy of greatness. Like, don't be shy to be who you want to be and go for it. Like, worst case scenario, you maybe don't reach quite there, but you're going to be one, proud of the effort you put into it, and you're going to be real close, So I think don't be shy of wanting to be great and go ahead and put yourself into it, right? You're going to learn so much in that. There's no success without little failures along the way. And so if you at least try for that goal, right? Have goals, have dreams, have visions, go for it. If you fail, that's part of growing, right? That's part of how you even just accomplish that dream. I fail every day. Like I literally make mistakes every second. I'm failing at all times. And especially at that age, I tried to fail. I would play up, I'd play against boys. I would, just try to put myself in challenging situations because I knew that was what was going to make me better. And I knew that would help mentally, my game and my resilience as well. So that would just be my biggest advice. Don't be shy of greatness and have those goals, have those visions, and, go for it. Put yourself in those challenging positions because it's an opportunity to grow no matter what, and have fun with it. This is such a fun time of life. So
Absolutely. And speaking of challenge, I wonder if you could comment on this before you have to go. I know you have to jump on another call as well, but talking with our other guest the other day, and I'll ask her a little bit about this as well. I believe she said something like, Maggie best be glad there's no travel because she can't handle Sivan at a squirrels practice. So I didn't know if she was challenging you or if you can like accept that challenge when the travel ban's out and see who would be the better of you two at one of our squirrels practices.
Totally. Bring on the challenge. Like I just said, that's how you get better. And I can imagine the squirrels practice sounds hard to me. So I'm trying to get into a pool wherever I can. So I'll fly out there, get into practice, bring it on.
All right. Well, thank you so much. It's been an honor and a lot of fun talking with you. And we'll catch you at the at 6-8. And is it just a 6-8 website or is it app or how?
Yeah, you can check out our website at 6-8 Sports, 6-8 Sports, or download our app 6-8 Sports as well.
Right.
So,
Well, thank you so much, Maggie.
thanks
Have
for
a good
having
night.
me. Yeah, you too.
All right, and kind of coming back more local, just a little quick shout out on some things happening in Ohio, and then we'll talk with the Wittenberg head coach. Shout out for Emily Von, and I'm gonna butcher her last name, Kirchhoff, I believe, from Ursuline Academy, who just signed to play for Division One Mount St. Mary's when they start up their D1 program. And also a big congratulations to Amanda Putoff at Gannon University on receiving the Founders Award for Academic Excellence in the field of forensic science, something I can barely say, let alone study. And she's the first person in her field to receive that award. And we often forget that these athletes that we watch on TV or in games are also students. So they're there studying and getting a degree. So speaking of colleges, let's go ahead and talk with our next guest, Sivan Paron, who is the head coach of Wittenberg Water Polo, and talk with her tonight. Welcome, Sivan.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nick, for having me.
So I've got a chance to get to know you over the past couple of years, talking, college stuff with my high school players, but then also being able to play with you. But can you give us a little background, a little peek into your playing and coaching career?
Yeah, absolutely. So I grew up in California as well. I'm from Southern California originally. I got started in the sport with a local recreational team, and then obviously became very passionate about the sport and continued to play on a number of local club teams, taking advantage of any opportunities I had to play. Whether it was practicing with the boys' high school team, my high school team, club, whatever it was, I was definitely trying to capitalize on being in the water as much as possible. I went on to play at the University of Hawaii at Manoa. I was there for 4 years. We had, great experience. Definitely made friends for life there and continued to grow as an athlete. Made it to NCAA championships, got in the top 4. Following that, enjoyed retirement and, found a different relationship with sport as an athlete. But, throughout that time, I also found a new role in being a coach. I started pretty young. When I went to college and I came back home, I was, running high school programs, local club programs, and continued to do that. And then, eventually landed here in Ohio and started up the women's water polo team at Wittenberg University. And we had our inaugural season in 2019. So this was only our second year ever with the CWPA, and, looking forward towards more years to come.
So who would you say then, since you 1 year old, right? Who is have you found a rival yet? Is there someone that is like, you might like compete for the same type of girls that you're recruiting, or like there's a games or tournaments you're like, oh, just use, it's like an intense game between those ones?
I love you stirring the pot here.
We gotta create some controversy or no one listens.
Right, yeah, exactly. Well, for me and for our program, we're definitely, again, like you said, we're still very new. So, we continue to enjoy a lot of competitive games with other teams in our conference across different levels, across different conferences. And for us, we're just, focused on ourselves, our team goals, individual goals, and continuing to grow as a program right now. But yeah, we no rivals just yet.
I'll help find some for you. Don't worry.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm sure you're doing a great job right now helping us.
With all of the seniors graduating right now, and I know you, I mean, as a coach, are constantly recruiting. Like, what are you looking for in a player as you're trying to find them to come play?
Yeah, for our team, I see us as being very competitive, focused, energetic, organized, fun, hardworking, and a supportive group of student athletes. For me, culture is a really big deal. So making sure that we continue to bring in athletes that have a strong sense of motivation, drive to succeed, natural leaders, they're focused. I mean, a lot of those things that you're hearing Maggie speak of her experience, she's acknowledging the leadership on her team, right? And a willingness to grow, right? And this is, one of the best players in the world that we're hearing say those things, and emphasizing fundamentals and effort and the energy and, preparation that goes into, getting where she's at, right? So those are some qualities that I appreciate hearing her talk about, and those are some of the things that I'm also looking for as a coach to bring into my program as well.
When give away any like Wittenberg practice secrets, but like, what does a typical practice kind of look like for them?
Yeah, it just depends on our team needs and where we're at in the season as well. As a Division III program, there are some differences in terms of how we are allowed to practice, right? But, during our preseason, conditioning, building our team and chemistry, and really working on refining skills, getting into the competitive piece of our season.
Is there a lot of like out of the pool training allotment for things like lifting or chalk talk? And obviously they're students going to school as well. So, do you know like a time amount that you can think for these student athletes that are doing?
So in terms of practice, it's about 20 hours a week that you're committed to at this level. And within our program, we really emphasize balance. We have really rigorous academics and competitive athletics, right, that you're coming in focusing on. For example, you'd come in on a Monday, let's say, and go do your coursework. It's not uncommon for our student athletes to also be leaders within our community. So whether it's a student organization or within their department, maybe they're doing community service as well, or internships, research, a number of different things, and then coming to, our practices as well. But again, it just depends on where we're at during the season. But yeah, we balance is the biggest thing, and that's sort of how it's structured.
I mean, I think that's awesome for a lot of, students people to know when we're looking at playing in college is know that amount of time that you got dedicated for water polo, but you've also got dedicated for studies as well. So last compete against you.
That I issued?
I was just quoting.
Oh, yes, of course. Listen, I think it would be great to have her come to Ohio and get her to a squirrels practice. I'm pretty deep in retirement, so I think I'm going to have to start practicing, some better front court defense first before any of that.
Well, thank you so much, Sivan. It's been a pleasure to talk with you tonight. Hopefully we get to get back in the pool again, and we can work on that defense before Maggie comes in and shows us all how to do everything that is water polo.
Definitely. Thank you for having me.
All right. Have a good night.
You too.
All right. And that is our podcast for tonight. Next week on the Spin Lob, it's Tony freaking Azevedo. And if you have other topics that you want to talk about or shout outs about people playing in college or awards that you guys are winning, please let us know. And we can talk with them. You can contact us at cincywaterpolo@gmail.com or on Twitter or Instagram at cincywaterpolo. The Spin Lob is produced and recorded live by Mike Jones and Nick Helwig. It's supported by the Ohio Squirrels. You're never too old to get into the game. Go nuts. And also by Marlins Water Polo. For the love of the game, there's Marlins Water Polo. Our theme music is produced